Alright, Deadheads, here at MAP, my name's Ronnie Hayes. We're going to talk about something that I really don't like to get into on this channel because a lot of times it could just turn ugly real fast. And the issue is race. Now, this particular issue is going to be how black characters are handled on the popular TV show The Walking Dead. You know, a lot of people have their issues with it, but this issue specifically is one that a viewer brought up, talking about characters being soft. Now, I didn't agree with his opinion, so and he asked if I would share this, and I figured this would be a good starting off point to get into the discussion. So I'm going to read his response, and I normally don't do this. I usually freestyle it, but I'm going to read his response. He didn't put any periods in here for me, you son of a bitch. So this might be hard to figure this out as I'm reading along, so bear with me. But his name is Brett Gaither. Did I pronounce that right? Anyway, I told him I would share this, and I want to open up the discussion a little bit. Brett says, "Question, man, and I really need you to answer this for all the fans because I'm seriously pissed right now at The Walking Dead. It's for this reason. Why is every black character on the show soft as baby shit? Morgan is a bitch, won't kill anybody, aka soft. Michonne is telling Rick not to do anything when it comes to Alexandria. People always want to save them. Soft in my opinion, and phony. Why would you ride so hard for people you just met and ignore the leader's orders all the time, aka Rick Grimes? Now on to Father Gabriel, complete pussy bitch. Need I say more? And then let's go to Tyrese, a complete pussy as well. In the comic, he got into it on TV, was straight vagina. Now let's move to the last black characters on the TV show. That's Alive, and that's Sasha. Oh man, Brett, I love you, baby, but periods, my friend. Sasha, she is so fucking unlikable, it's not even funny. Fuck you, I love Sasha. I'm teasing. Bob was soft, so was Dog? Oh, T-Dog. Bob was soft and so was T-Dog. If you don't see the pattern in this, I be amazed. It need be brought up because as a black man, this is unacceptable. That was my stuttering, sorry. Unacceptable writing and completely fake. Carol is a badass. Rick is a badass. Daryl is a badass. Maggie, badass. See a pattern? I know you keep it real, so I want your opinion on it. And you know what? I didn't even think about adding this badass part into my argument until you put it in there. So hear what I say about the Daryl being badass, Rick being badass, Maggie being badass, because that's all true. They're badass, right? But if you look at how he breaks down the soft, in my opinion, it becomes contradictory. Michonne, perfect example. I'm going to talk about this briefly, but let's get into my response. Well, you are crafting it to fit the narrative a little too much, in my opinion. As far as Morgan and Tyrese being against killing, that is definitely a pattern. Not necessarily a bad one, but to call Michonne soft is just ludicrous. I would love to discuss this in a video, but I feel like you have mislabeled some of these characters so poorly that there is nothing to say, because if you see Michonne and Sasha as soft, then you must be looking for something racial so you can protest about it. I do hope I am wrong so we can continue this discussion. Michonne was said to be, by the creator of The Walking Dead, the most badass character out of all of them. And she is not only black, but a woman. You call her soft because she protects the weak people at Alexandria that she doesn't even know. I can't even begin to understand how that even lines up. Moving over to Sasha, you say she is soft because she wanted to die, which is simply not true at all. She went through a mix of emotions and came out of it as one of the toughest and most lethal members of their group. Calling Sasha soft, again, seems forced to fit this particular narrative. You call her unlikable. She is one of my top favorites with Rick, Michonne, etc. I love Sasha. Her being very attractive might contribute a little. Laugh out loud. Father Gabriel is an easy target to attack, but he was a bitch in the comics too. At first. because during No Way Out, he really steps up, and it's looking like he will follow suit on the show as well. If Father Gabriel was a badass from the start, it would be a shit representation of the character, and also wouldn't have room for any growth. You call Michonne weak for being badass and willing to kill those who deserve to die, but weak because she will fight to save people she doesn't even know. But so will Daryl. He is the same as Michonne. Badass, but goes out of his way to help people. Look at episode 6. And Noah. Bob was a great adaptation from the comic. He was, wait for it, also stronger than his white comic counterpart as well. Bob was white in the comics and not as developed on TV. As on TV. He was downright useless in the comic universe for almost all of the story. You mentioned T-Dog, but don't even bother offering any examples, to which I believe it's because there aren't many examples to give. He wasn't a Terminator killing machine, and T-Dog is not the name I would have picked, but he was fleshed out. Not an interesting character in my opinion, but he still felt real. He wasn't useless, and he even contributed, and he would fight when he had to. And lastly, he died saving Carol. I am not defending all of the writing on the show, and I do feel like there are weak points in the writing and some character development. But in closing, I do not believe there is a deliberate scheme to write these so-called weak black characters. Furthermore, I disagree that wanting to help people you don't even know is weak or soft in any way. We live better lives today because of the people who fought to make the future better, for people they don't even know. And that was my final point, and in closing, I do want to talk about what I meant by Michonne and Daryl. See, Brett, you call Daryl a badass, but then you don't go into his weaknesses like you do with Michonne. So you call her soft because she wants to help, she is compassionate, she cares about people. But that fits Daryl's character before the apocalypse too. Like, he's soft because he was picked on, beat, and abused his whole life. He has that hard-ass outer coating. In the very beginning, his conditioning in the old world is what gave him the outer coating, because it was like a protection. You know what I'm saying? It's like that hard on the outside but soft on the inside, and there are realistically people like that. That's a very cliche character. Yeah, in all reality, it is. It's in a ton of movies. You just name it, and that's a cliche-ass character. But he is weak, though, because look at him. He wants to help. Look at what he did in season 6. He's telling Rick, we need to go and find people. You know, he wants to help people. Look what he did in episode 6 just recently. Even with Noah, I mean, he got pissed at him, but you see what I'm saying? It's Daryl and Michonne are pretty much incredibly similar. Not attitude or background-wise, but I'm talking about how they are badass. They both use silent weapons, which is pretty neat. And they both are compassionate and good people deep down inside. They want to help people and everything else like that. So no, I don't believe there's this deliberate scheme. Now, I do believe that Morgan and Tyrese mirroring each other is it is on purpose, absolutely, and I think there's a reason for that. I don't bring up Tyrese as much because I do feel like there was a fail there, but we also have to look at the actor. I'm pretty sure that the actor played a big part in how the role ended up, because if you look at his character in The Wire, it was incredibly similar to the show, and that might play a factor. And Chad Coleman in real life is a big giant teddy bear, they say, just a really nice guy. That also could play a factor in that character. So it might not just be the writers. Now think about this as well. The showrunner, specifically Gimple, his hands were tied. Once Tyrese already came on the show in season 3, when Scott Gimple wasn't the showrunner, it already had a foundation of who that character was. And it was a deep foundation. They put it in there. He was compassionate. He didn't want to do shit. Go back and watch season 3 and his bullshit with the governor. He was like a pussy cat from the beginning. you can't automatically say, you know what, let's bring more comic Tyrese in. And Gimple and the team did what they could with the hammer scene. I mean, Tyrese was a beast when he was attacking walkers and shit, but he did fail when it came to killing the bad guys, it shows. Again, a lot of that, though, isn't weakness, depending on how you look at it, because in that world, it's becoming so easy to solve your problems. It's becoming so easy to just kill. There's a problem, kill it, boom, done. But Tyrese even mentions that I think he did mention that it took every bit of him, not to cross that line and not to take the easy road. So it was strength in a way. And there is strength and compassion. There really, really is. Look at Morgan's situation. Perfect. 2 guys run up on him. It looks suspect. Whoop-de-whoop. The easiest thing to do is what he did. He killed him. Boom, done. What Tyrese would have done is the stronger thing to do. Take the risk, you know what I mean, in giving them a chance, because they could betray you later. I mean, bad shit can happen. That would be the stronger thing to do, or the more, the more difficult action to take. Killing them immediately, you have no more problems. But giving them a chance, there's risk there and everything else. You could debate this for days on and on, but I do not agree with this deliberate scheme to write the soft black characters, because I do not believe Sasha or Michonne specifically are soft. Morgan's not soft either. I don't support his all life is precious to a degree, but I do not consider them soft like that. I do like Morgan's character, even though I don't agree with some of the shit, because it's more interesting than him being a badass at everything. They gave him the fighting, that is absolutely great, but you need to insert something there that has conflict, or else the story's not going to be as interesting. But not only just conflict, but it actually has to go along with what they've already developed with that character from the beginning. And if you watch season 1, you can tell that the Morgan character has a heart, has a compassion. Shit bothers him, especially when he's trying to put down his Walker wife. And the scene is incredible, what Lenny James does there, the emotions he brings up. Now you look at that character, then how he was a broken man in season 3, and realistically, they didn't have many options to keep Morgan authentic. And I think the All Life is Precious is a little extreme, but it's one of the more authentic options to take for that character. The one I'll give everyone is Tyrese. I do feel, as an overall translation from comic to screen, Tyrese was a failure, more so than any other character. I did love what Chad did with the character. He was one of the best casting choices they could have done, but I wanted a little more comic Tyrese in there, It wasn't a complete failure, but somewhat. But listen, I could ramble on and on. This was supposed to open up a discussion, so please, if you're going to tell someone to go fuck themselves, at least follow that up with some kind of, logical opinion, or not, logical opinion. It's the internet. What am I doing? Just at least follow that up with some kind of opinion, or something positive to add to this discussion. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying this is something I think it would help people out who might have a problem, and then if we open it up to discussion, we might get some closure out of it for some people who have a problem with it. Or maybe I might be opened up to something I don't know about yet as far as the casting and how black characters are portrayed on the show. So I'm all ears. Trust me, if you have something to say, I will listen. Don't feel like you need to get defensive about it. Just boom. And I already talked to Brett. I already messaged him after this and said I'm going to put this video up. So this isn't like a coming at the viewer video. This is actually, and I talked to him about opening this up for a discussion. So I'm going to shut up now. Video's damn way too long. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Please put your thoughts and opinions about this topic in that comment box. I love you all. I'm out of here. Subscribe now. Especially Michonne and Sasha. I love you guys even more.